In this video, we're attempting to build the ultimate back-to-engineering racing vehicle. This robotic car will combine the very best of sensor control, voice control, all of which work most of the time, as well as the absolute best mechanical design for the ultimate racing experience. I start by putting together this Freaks kit that I got sent. It's an AI mechanical car. It comes with different sensors and a bunch of Lego style pieces that you can assemble into pretty much whatever you imagine. But to start off in this video, I am building this racing car specifically. It comes with this microbit controlling board that you can use to make different coding programs with just dragging around different code blocks, which we'll show later, and this extension board where you can connect all your sensors and have them organized in one central part. And putting it all together, we have our ultimate race car. We then have to spend some time figuring out how the sensors start, and then of course how to get the sensors to also stop. But that's enough for the introduction. I'm gonna hand it over to Past Julia to explain how this works, and then let's start racing.
Okay, so with the use of the little code blocks, we're able to control if it's going to go left or right or forward. We just don't really know how to stop it yet. But basically, we can move around these little code bits and try to make different programs without actually coding per se. This is making me feel like I'm 12, which I'm pretty sure is the actual target demographic for these toys, but don't come for me. This is like so much fun. But there's no fun in sitting at my desk and trying to get the car not to fall off of it. Instead, we are at the soon-to-be inaugural back-to-engineering race circuit. We're going to set up a series of challenges and see how the car can pass them without falling apart. Since it's pretty modular and adaptable, I'm going to continuously build it up if it needs some adjustments and adding more sensors to direct it. The only rule is I cannot touch the car or control it in any conventional way. So no buttons, no code, no pressing on things to tell it where to go. Instead, we're going to be using motions and voice and camera and seeing if we can pass a series of increasingly more exciting circuit challenges. Let's try. All right, so here's what I'm thinking. We're going to start with some under the table action. Have the car swerve around the different leg chairs and the table chair to make it out of this danger zone into the open plane. In this rather large and flat environment, we can set up the particular course that we want, make the racetrack look really interesting, and have the car speed through these challenges. Once we pass this one, we're going to enter the couch crash zone. It has a crash sensor, so of course I'm going to use the crash sensor. I want to see if it can handle an impact and then having to reroute from there in a different direction. And if that wasn't enough, we're also going to introduce dynamic hazards. What are dynamic hazards, you might ask? Enter the beast. So let's see what we're currently working with. This is the car setup that we're going to be starting with. We have the controller in here that can connect to different components. We have two motors, one for that vroom effect and one that is supposedly going to steer. I say supposedly because it has yet to successfully steer even once, but we'll get to that. And then in terms of sensors, I want to start out with the ultrasonic sensor. I think that's like the simplest to manipulate and control. What this does is it just measures the distance between the sensor and whatever is in front of it, ultrasonically. So we're going to use this to code a simple follow motion. If the hand is at a certain distance, I want it to keep that distance. If it gets too close, it means back up. We can even play with that, controlling the speed. But I don't want to give one sensor too many things to do. What's the fun in that? We can add a different sensor for the speed. So let's see how that one works right now. Course 1.
It's lights out and away we go.
success. That was a very, very exciting first race. I think we can do better. Let's introduce having to pass some of these obstacles as well, which means we need steering and direction changes. That should be possible with this motor here. As you can see, it can turn the wheels left and right. Excuse you. We just need to connect that to the main controller and add a few code blocks to decide how the motor is going to be steered. So let's pick a sensor and get a bit of coding done. All right, we're gonna add the direction sensor. That would be a no. I could not figure out a way for it to steer correctly, but I did figure out a way for it to steer incorrectly, and that might just be good enough. I can work with that. So for our first challenge of steering from underneath the table, it's quite simple really. We just have to do the exact opposite of what you would expect. So now we just have the audio sensor to control the movement. We've removed the other two. Let's test this out. We have the car with the little sensor here, and it has a name apparently. Check it out. Hi, Sean.
How do you do?
Full speed ahead.
Full speed ahead.
Stop. 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 Reverse.
Reversing.
Stop. 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 So we're having a few issues with the stopping function.
Already stopped.
The stopping function in
Already stopped.
the you know what function in particular, which is fine because this is a great transition into the next sensor I want to test, which is the collision detection. Because you don't need to stop.
I'll step back first.
If the couch stops you for you. So let's try to have a controlled hitting, and that will be the last piece of the puzzle before we go into the full race course. Final pit stop. We have the collision sensor that we've connected in. We just have to attach it to the front of the car, and then we'll see how going full speed ahead at the couch works this time around. We have the sensor right here, and we're ready to test it. Hey, Sean.
I'm here.
Keep going.
Keep going.
So that works. So with that, we've successfully tested every sensor and element that we wanted to, and it's time to put it all together on the ultimate race. We're going to attempt to drive forward, make a turn, accelerate and go slower, hit something and recover from it, all in style while looking cool and actually listening to my commands, which is the part I am most worried about. It's probably going to require a few Formula One level pit stops to quickly change in different tires for different environments or different sensors for different challenges. But let's see how it looks and let's make it really cool. Century. or at least the best race that we've had a robot do in this house. I think I can give it that. Obviously, there's quite a few kinks left to iron out and to optimize with my racer here. There's a lot of rebuilding we could do, a lot of different sensor work we could do. There's always something, but for now, I am very happy with how this turned out. If you want to try out this robot by yourself and build it in whatever configuration you want, you can check the link in the description. Thank you once again, Freaks, for sending me this robot. It was a lot of fun to put together. The instructions on the website were quite clear and the microcontroller code was interesting. I think I'll stick with Python for now. It feels a little bit easier for me to control, but I think this is a great tool to get started with programming, or if you are more interested in the project itself than the actual code, then you can get started with this way faster, although you might run into quite a lot of debugging, but hey, this is what the community is for. Let me know in the comments if you do try it out, and I'm very curious to see what everyone else would like to build. For now, I'll see you in the next video.